For every loved kid YouTuber, there is also one hated by everyone. Some grew up in front of millions and stayed grounded, others got lost in fame, control, or controversy before they ever had a chance to grow up. These are the child creators who went from adored to despised, and the few who managed to hold on to their innocence through it all. Let's start with the one who shocked the entire world. Lil Tay. Back in 2018, she became the self-proclaimed youngest flexer of the century, posting viral videos where she flaunted cars, cash, and luxury homes like a miniature rap mogul. "I'm richer than all y'all broke haters. Y'all jealous. I ain't even started rapping yet, but I'm richer than you." But behind the gold and Gucci belts was something far darker. A leaked video that same year showed her older brother Jason Tian feeding her lines off camera, literally scripting the outbursts that made her famous. "Say it again, like, you're irrelevant, you're trying to be like me." It wasn't confidence, it was direction. Soon after, it was revealed that her mother, Angela Tian, was helping film those clips inside luxury properties she didn't even own. When her real estate job found out, she was fired on the spot. The internet turned instantly. "This is heartbreaking. She's just a kid being used for views. Her brother and mom should be ashamed." Then, for years, silence. No posts, no updates, until August 2023, when her Instagram suddenly announced that Lil Tay and her brother had died. The news spread worldwide, until the next day, when she resurfaced alive, calling it a hack. 2 months later, she went public again. This time, accusing her father, Chris Hope, and his wife of abuse and claiming they staged the hoax to manipulate her career. The story spiraled into a custody battle that ended with her mother gaining full custody. It was tragic, surreal, and for many, confirmed what people had suspected all along, that Lil Tay had never been in control of her fame. "No matter how annoying she was," one fan wrote, "she never deserved this." If Lil Tay's fame showed what happens when childhood gets sold online, Karina and Ronald proved it didn't have to be that way. Their channel Sis vs Bro, launched in 2016, was everything early YouTube loved. Sibling challenges, gaming battles, and light-hearted chaos that felt genuinely fun. "Okay, Ronald, you have to copy everything I do for the next 24 hours. Fans adored their bond. It wasn't about luxury or fame, it was about family. Their channel exploded past 14 million subscribers and 7 billion views, but eventually they grew up. By 2021, they posted their final video and disappeared. Until 3 years later, when they suddenly came back. "So guys, it's been 3 long years, but we're finally back. The internet lost it. My childhood just came back to life," one comment read. Their return wasn't about nostalgia. It was proof that some creators could grow up without losing who they were. That's something Piper Rockell can't say. Starting around 2016, she became one of YouTube's biggest kid stars, running a tween content empire known as The Squad. But in 2022, that dream imploded when 11 former members filed a $22 million lawsuit against Piper's mom, Tiffany Smith, accusing her of creating a toxic and exploitative environment. She'd tell us to wear tighter clothes. She yelled. She controlled everything. By 2024, the case settled for $1.85 million, with no admission of guilt. But then came Netflix's Bad Influence, the dark side of kidfluencing, exposing the alleged abuse in painful detail. Viewers were outraged. "Kids aren't influencers, they're kids," one comment read. "These parents should be in jail." Piper's public image never recovered. Despite continuing to post, often with adult creators, her reputation remains one of YouTube's darkest cautionary tales. What makes her story even more tragic is how preventable it was. What began as a promising young creator surrounded by friends and fans slowly turned into a case study of what happens when fame grows faster than guidance. The people who should have protected her seemed more focused on profit than her well-being. Every viral video and brand deal came at the cost of her childhood. Now each upload feels less like entertainment and more like a reminder of how deeply the internet can fail the kids it claims to love. And yet, while some child stars crumbled under controversy, others aged gracefully, like EvanTube HD. When Evan Lee started his toy review channel in 2011, he was just 6 years old. His family-friendly videos were joyful, genuine, and wholesome, the perfect antidote to YouTube chaos. Alright, let's see what's inside. Over a decade later, with more than 7 million subscribers, Evan grew up right alongside his fans. In 2024, he posted the end of EvanTube, announcing he was stepping back to go to college. "I'm not quitting forever," he said, "just growing up." The comments were emotional. "You were my childhood. Thank you for everything." Evan's departure wasn't sad. It was full circle. A rare YouTuber who left fame on his own terms, but the same can't be said for Jojo Siwa, once Nickelodeon's brightest star. After Dance Moms and her hit single Boomerang, Jojo built an empire of glitter and bows. She was unstoppable, until 2024, when she shocked fans with her edgy rebrand and new song Karma. Gone were the rainbows and ponytails. In their place were dark visuals, heavy makeup, and lyrics that felt miles away from the upbeat kid icon everyone knew. Fans were stunned, some calling it empowerment, others calling it embarrassing. Overnight, Jojo went from childhood role model to controversy magnet. What was meant to be a bold reinvention turned into one of YouTube's biggest identity crises. The internet hated it. I got out of bed for the first time in months to turn this off. Why is this song physically painful? The track earned over 3 million dislikes, making it the most disliked female music video of the year. Jojo defended the change as her adult era, insisting she was finally expressing her real self, but fans weren't ready to let go of the glitter-covered version they grew up with. For many, it felt less like growth and more like shock value. The sudden shift left her caught between two worlds, too edgy for kids, yet too branded for adults. Her transition from role model to rebel became one of YouTube's biggest identity crises, a reminder of how hard it is for childhood stars to grow up in public. Yet not every child star turned controversial. Ryan Kaji, better known as Ryan's World, built an empire without losing his charm. Starting in 2015, Ryan's toy unboxings became global hits, evolving into a brand with toys, TV shows, even a feature film in 2024. By 2025, Ryan's World had over 39 million subscribers and 61 billion views, making it one of YouTube's biggest channels ever. But his parents faced their share of criticism too, especially after interviews where viewers felt Ryan wasn't allowed to speak freely. "He sounds coached," one fan said. "Let him be a kid." Even so, Ryan himself remains beloved. Whether it's nostalgia or genuine affection, fans still see him as the bright spot of early YouTube. Proof that not every kid creator burns out. But if Ryan's legacy is purity, Misha Selenosis was pure chaos. You might not remember his name, but you definitely remember his song, "I Play Pokemon Go Every Day." It was 2016's most unintentionally viral anthem. With over 100 million views, it made Misha famous and infamous. Commentary YouTubers tore him apart, calling the song the cringiest thing on the internet. But Misha fought back, releasing diss tracks aimed at his critics. What no one expected was how well it would work. Each response brought him more attention, turning mockery into momentum. Suddenly, the kid everyone laughed at was gaming the system better than the adults who mocked him. Years later, fans now see him differently. Not as a joke, but as one of the first creators to prove that internet hate can be fuel if you know how to use it. "Leafy is a retard," he sang in broken English, doubling down on the absurdity. The backlash made him even bigger, and years later, people came back to apologize. "I used to laugh at him," one comment said, "but now I get it. He was just a kid having fun." Not every viral kid gets that redemption, but Misha did, simply by outlasting the hate. Over time, the internet realized he wasn't just a punchline. He was a kid who turned an entire wave of ridicule into a career. He kept posting, kept smiling, and never lashed out. Something most adults online couldn't even manage. Years later, his old videos feel almost nostalgic, a reminder of a simpler era of YouTube when even cringe could become culture. In the end, Misha didn't need to prove the haters wrong. He just had to keep going until they grew up. And then there's the duo who defined pure internet joy, Sophia Grace and Rosie. Back in 2011, their cover of Nicki Minaj's Super Bass melted the internet's heart and earned them a spot on The Ellen Show. "We love Nicki Minaj, we want to meet her so much." They became international icons overnight. Tiny pink tutus, big personalities, and endless charm. A decade later, in 2022, they reunited on Ellen as young adults. The nostalgia hit hard. Fans who had grown up watching them were suddenly seeing their childhood idols all grown up. Still laughing, still best friends, still radiating that same spark. The reunion reminded everyone how rare it is for childhood fame to end on such a wholesome note. No scandals, no fallouts. Just two girls who handled fame with grace and gratitude. In a sea of internet chaos, Sophia Grace and Rosie stayed pure joy. "I grew up watching them," one viewer wrote. "Seeing them together again made me cry." Today, Rosie posts music covers and lifestyle clips, while Sophia documents her journey into motherhood. Both are thriving, and both remain beloved symbols of what early YouTube felt like. From Lil Tay's tragedy to Ryan's success, from Piper's lawsuits to Evan's farewell, one truth cuts through every story. Most of these kids didn't choose fame, adults chose it for them. Some were guided with care, others were pushed until they broke, but maybe the real lesson is this. Internet fame doesn't age well unless you grow with it. Some kids were turned into brands. Others, like Evan, grew into people. Because in the end, the algorithm forgets, but the audience remembers. It remembers who was kind, who was honest, and who got lost in the noise. Childhood fame is fleeting, but integrity, that lasts forever. And as these creators proved, growing up online isn't about staying viral, it's about staying yourself.